Hello and welcome. Let's solve this question on equations of straight lines. A line L1 passes through the points 4, 5 and 6, -7. Find 1. The equation of line 1 in the form y is equals to mx plus c, where m and c are constants. Part 2. X and y intercepts of line 1. Then part B. Another line L2 is perpendicular to the line 1 and passes through the point -1, 7. Find the equation of L2 in the form ax plus by is equals to c, where a, b, and c are integers. And then the last part C, find the point of intersections of line 1 and line 2. Let's go to the first part. For the first part, you given line 1 and it passes through points 4, 5 and 6, -7. So you're supposed to find the equation of this line in the form y is equals to mx plus c. So the first thing you're going to do, when you look at the format, you're supposed to leave your equation, that is y is equals to mx plus c. You need to get m, where m is the gradient. So let's calculate the gradient of this line 1, having these 2 points. So how do we get gradient? That is m. So gradient is obtained by taking change in y divided by the change in x. Change in y, we shall get -7. Then we subtract 5. Everything divided by the change in x, which is obtained by, we take 6. Then we subtract 4. That is how we get the gradient. And this will give a -12 divided by 2. And this will give the gradient as -6. Now, having the gradient as -6, the next thing you're going to do is now to get the y-intercept, x and y-intercepts. And this is how we do it. We simply pick one of these points. You can either choose to use 4, 5 or 6, -7. Either of them will work. So I'll use 4, 5, and then I'll pick another general point, xy, on that line 1. So we use general point xy on that line. Now I have the gradient. Since I have the gradient, which is -6, I can use these 2 points, 4, 5 and xy on that line 1 to calculate that gradient. So gradient is change in y, which is y subtract 5, divided by change in x, x minus 4. And that should give me the gradient, which is -6. So from here to get the equation, you simply need to cross multiply. You can put this one as -1 and then you cross multiply. Y minus 5 times 1, you get y minus 5 is equals to -6 multiplied by x minus 4. So this will give y minus 5 is equals to -6 x, then -6 times -4 will give positive 24. Now we require to organize these equations so that we get it in this form. So we shall take -5 to the right hand side. So y is equals to -6x. Then when you take -5 to the right hand side, you get positive 5. So it will be 24 plus 5, which will be 29. So that equation is in the required format. That is y is equals to mx plus c. We go to the second part, that is part 2. X and y intercepts of line 1. Now we start with the x-intercept, and you should know that at x-intercept, y is equivalent to 0. So because we are getting the y-intercept of this line, we simply take this equation of this line. To get the y-intercept, we simply substitute y with 0. So this will be 0 is equals to -6x plus 29. So from here you can calculate x, and you'll get x as, x will be simply be obtained by take this one to be 29 divided by 6, which will be x will be, this will be 4 and 5/6. So that will be the x-intercept. What about the y-intercept? So for y-intercept, you should know that at y-intercept, x is equivalent to 0. So again, we shall take this equation of this line 1, where we have x, we substitute that one with 0. So we shall have y is equals to, this will be 0, and so this one will be 29. So therefore, the x-intercept is 4 and 5/6, y-intercept is 29. That is, you get the y-intercept after substituting x with 0 in this equation. Now let's go to the other part. So another line L2 is perpendicular to line 1 and passes through point -21, 7. Find the equation of L2 in the form ax plus by is equals to c, where a, b, and c are integers. So for this one, we have line 1, which is given by y is equals to -6x plus 29. So given that another line L2 is perpendicular to this line, there's something that you need to know in equations of straight lines, that if you have two lines that are perpendicular to each other, then when you take the product of their gradients, you should get -1. So we shall let the gradient of L1 to be m1. So gradient of this line 1 will be given by m1, which is -6. So therefore, if two lines are perpendicular, if I take the gradient of this line 1, which is L1, and we can let the gradient of line 2 to be given by m2. So taking the gradient of line 2 to be m2 and gradient of line 1 to be m1, if I take m1 times m2, I should get -1. That is a very important concept, that if two straight lines are perpendicular to each other, when you take the product of the gradients, you should get -1. So you already have m1 as -6, so times m2 should get -1. So m2 here should therefore give you 1/6. So the gradient of line 2 should be 1/6. Now, we take this point now to get the equation. We take this point, -21 and 7, and then we introduce another general point. Use any general point on that line, which is xy. So using these 2 points, we can use them to calculate the gradient, which is 1/6. So how do you get the gradient using these 2 points on L2? So change in y, which is y subtract 7, divided by change in x, which is x subtract -21, it will be x plus 21, be careful there, is equals to 1/6. So cross multiply, so this will be 6 multiplied by y minus 7 is equals to 1 multiplied by x plus 21. You get that. So from there, this one will give 6y minus 42, 6 times 7, 42 is equals to, x plus 21. So we reorganize these in this format. We reorganize it. So I want to bring x and y on this side. So we shall have 6y. So if I reorganize that, so 6y minus 42 is equals to x plus 21. So if I bring x to this side, I shall get 6y. I'll have 6y on this side. So when I bring this x, you get -x. Then I take -42 to the right hand side. This will be 42 plus 21, which will be 63. So when you look at it, you can leave it in that format, or you can simply write it as, you can start with -x plus 6y is equals to 63. So you can leave it in this form. It is in that form, ax plus by is equals to, the constant should be alone on the right hand side. Then the last one is part C. Find the point of intersection of L1 and L2. So how do we do that? We simply get L1, line 1. We got line 1 as y is equals to negative 6x plus 29. We can reorganize this one for ease of working, and we bring negative 6x to this side so that we have y. If I bring negative 6x to the left hand side, I'll have y plus 6x is equals to 29. And then L2, for L2 we have, what is L2? So L2 is here. We just got the equation of L2. So L2 is here. So negative x. So I can use this one so that they can match. 6y minus x is equals to 63. Like that. So having these two equations, to get the point of intersection of these two lines, L1 and L2, we simply solve them simultaneously. That why you can see me organizing them like this. When you solve the two equations simultaneously, you'll get the values of x and y, and the values of x and y will give the coordinate of the point of intersection. So we have L1 is here, equation 1, L2 is here, equation 2. So we solve them simultaneously. So you can see I'm matching them. So I can decide to eliminate y. So here I have y, here I have 6y. To eliminate y, I'll use elimination method. So I can multiply the whole of this equation by 6 so that I can have 6y and subtract 6y to eliminate it. So I will have 6y when I multiply the whole of this equation by 6 plus this one again by 6. Every term should be multiplied by 6. Y times 6, 6y. 6 times 6x, you get 36x is equals to 29 times 6. You'll get 174. So this one, you leave it the way it is. You just multiply it by 1. So you have 6y subtract x is equals to 63. Now you can see y is uniform. So I can subtract to eliminate y. 6y subtract y. I get 0. Then 36 subtract negative x. I'll get 36 plus x, which will give 37x. I repeat, 36x subtract negative x will get 36x plus x, which is the 7x. Then on 74 subtract 63, you'll get 111, like that. So this one will give x to be, you divide both sides by 37. So 111 divided by 37, you get 3. So x is 3. So I can now use a substitution to get the value of y. I can use this equation here. I can use this equation, 6y minus x, I've already obtained x is 3, is equals to 63. So for this one, I'll get y will be given by, this will be 66 divided by 6, which will be 11. So after solving the equations L1 and L2 simultaneously, I got x to be 3 and y to be 11, and that will give the coordinate of the point of intersection. Therefore, the point of intersection is 3, 11. X is 3, y is 11.